Poison Ivy, issue 35. G. Willow
Oh.
Wilson writing with Marcio Takara on the art. Take it away.
All right, so Pam's in distress, right? The Gotham PD have taken Killer Croc because Janet from HR pulled a sneaky on her because she's dying of toxic exposure to Poison Ivy. With the plant, I forget her name, but she's the Swamp Thing lady that has beef with Ivy. So Ivy's at a crossroads here, and because the Gardener had set her up to be this eco-terrorist leader of the Green Knight, of the Order of the Green Knight. But that was never Pam. Pam didn't want to do that, right? So she told Batman, that's not her. I swear that's not me. I'll get to the bottom of it. However, in this fight with the Gotham PD, she had members from the Orders of the Green Knight fight with her and Peter Undine and Croc. So by default, she became became the leader of the Order of the Green Knight. So she lied to Batman, and now Batman's going to be pissed. And that's just the least of Pam's worries. So she's trying to figure out how she's going to handle this because there was a leak somewhere, and us readers know that it was Janet, right? Because the Green doesn't want the truce with the gray, which is the mushrooms, the fungus, right? And because Pam is the bridge between them. And so getting her off of her game will get the Green in order to shore up what they need to do. Pam decides that she's going to try to go and talk with Bella, with the Gardener, but she comes to that conclusion by going to visit Harley, and Harley's in Gotham. She has to make it quick because she doesn't want Batman. She doesn't want to deal with that. Janet's not doing well, so there's a ticking clock. And it's Harley that tells Pam to go talk to the Gardener. Peter Undine, who's the guy with the flower face, has a bit of he's a bit hesitant because while the Gardener can tap into the Green with the experiments, she's not part of them like they are, right? So she's looking always at this like an outsider, as the Green is something to be controlled and not experienced. But Pam knows that maybe she needs that outsider perspective in order to, close out this Cold War between the Green and the Gray. Pam notices in her ranks this girl that is covered with like this fungal rash. She's missing half of her hair. She's covered with these purple spores. She was the lone survivor of way back in issue 10. They went to that wellness retreat. That was kind of like the Goop conference with all these rich ladies with disposable income. And that's where the Lamia spores went wild. This lady was the one person that didn't take the vaccine from Pam. And her body beat the infection. However, it had left her scarred with these rashes and whatever. And, she has a little bit of power over them, but not really. She's not like a full Lamia zombie. But it makes Pam second guess all of her actions as well, because no matter what she did to try to control these spores, they still went wild. They still found a way into, this girl surviving. So they're still in there in some way. And yeah, so they end up going to Seattle. She has her whole group of the Order of Green Knights. She's in full Poison Ivy mode. And there's a standoff with her and the Gardener. And they have this discussion. It's very much of a battle of philosophies here. And Pam feels like she can reach through to the Gardener by telling her, like, look, peace is less expensive than war, right? Me and you get on the same page. We stop this. We stop this feud with the Green and the Gray. Maybe they'll leave us alone to do what we need to do, and then we can go back and stop people from poisoning the planet. But it's very important to me. And she miscalculates because the Gardener doesn't want that. She's like, no, you picked your side. I'm on humanity's side. If there's no Earth, there's no humans. I'm going to do what I need to do. And as the tensions are heightening, the two sides are at each other, the two sides of the Order of the Green Knight. Someone throws a rock and it all starts going. It becomes a full-scale riot. And they're all beating each other up. None of them's listening to Ivy. So Ivy finally activates her plant powers and separates everybody with these big green vines. It's all really cool. Takara's art is really shining here. And it starts to rain, and it gets very moody, and Ivy looks the gardener down in the face and is like, look, just join with me, and we'll be good. And the gardener's like, no, I'm not going to back down. You're a traitor. Me and you're enemies now. And Pam looks at her in the face, and she grabs her hands and tells her, I'm not going to kill you, but I'm going to end this rivalry right now. And as she's holding hands, she says, I knew what I had to do instead. And the next panel is the gardener looking at her hands. And then this really trippy psychedelic bunch of colors all going all over the gardener. And Ivy tells us through narration that, your body has this delicate balance of microorganisms. There's some fungus in there. There's some plants. It's all very small and minuscule, but I can talk to them, and I can use it to either heal or destroy. And essentially what she does to the gardener is she has made her so toxic that her touch will kill anything. So the gardener can't even garden anymore. If she touches plants, they'll die. If she touches animals, her own creation. And, now she'll, if she wants to do it alone, then she'll do it alone. And the issue ends with Ivy basically saying that sometimes you have to do evil things in the name of good, and some of those things that you'll never be forgiven for. And it ends with Gardner with her hands on her head going, what have you done to me? Look at me, come back. And just the rain coming down. And yeah, so Janet's still not doing well. We see here that she's lost the ability to walk through this riot. So Peter Undine, the flower guy, picks her up. So I feel like there is going to be a major casualty, but it's not going to be here. I feel like it's going to be, if Janet represents Pam's ties to humanity, it's almost as if the more time Ivy spends around the humanity, the worse off they are, right? It feels like that's the undercurrent. And just the way that Takara is drawing Janet, she's starting to look more and more like a zombie. And not like a plant zombie, but like a zombie. Her eyes are getting darker, her skin's getting paler, and it's not looking good for her friend. And she's the one that's worried about Croc, because, they hooked up a couple issues ago, because Croc was the one person that she felt was paying attention to her and all this craziness. And now without Croc, she kind of is like, well, where do I stand in all this? But yeah, another really, really good issue. Nothing phenomenal. Still feels like we're chugging along to this confrontation with the Green and Pam. But Takara's art, again, at its high point. So all the stuff with the plant tendrils and that psychedelic part, it's just one panel with the gardener, but it really comes and makes an impression. So I'm gonna give Poison Ivy an 8.